Ain't nobody that look like me hiring them, right? Yeah. So the same person that's hiring them has to pay them, right? Mm-hmm. Do that person look like me again?
No.
So the same people that's saying they need to go back home is the same people that's employing them.
Yeah.
So if you don't want Hispanics to come, quit giving them jobs.
Welcome again. Welcome to Cutting Up. We got a good one for you today. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Stan Campbell, your host. Big up Scott, going on the other part, not the back. And I got a new one for you today. Sir, what's your name? What you do?
Classic Life.
Classic Life.
Former rap artist, HVAC contractor, all around real one.
Real one. Okay, so you say you do rapping, right?
I used to rap.
Used to rap. So I want to ask you some question, but let's go ahead and see how we gonna cut it today.
We're gonna fade it around, man, knock a little bit off the top.
All right.
Smooth it out.
Yes, sir. Let's open this up. You say you used to rap. By the way, where you from originally?
Bessemer, Alabama, to be exact, man.
Alabama.
Most people know Birmingham. Bessemer is a smaller city, right?
Bessemer.
Bessemer. Bessemer. But
Okay,
if you're
cool.
from there, you say Bessemer.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's really
cool.
5 letters if you're from there.
All right.
For all you folks from Jamaica, I'm teaching y'all a different language.
And what is that language called?
Backwood.
Backwood?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You gotta have to bear with him because he speak a different language.
He gonna put subtitles under this. For all y'all folks that don't know.
All right, so after Alabama, how long? What age? What?
So
time?
I left Alabama at 18 and went to the military.
Okay, military. So that's where everything started.
Yep.
So you came here and go to the military?
No, I left Alabama to the military. 4 years, then went back home for probably about 5-6 months, and then I came here. So I've been here since 2004. So shit, 21 years.
Okay, so how did you get in the military though? Oh, you ended up there. Was that something that...
I mean, you want the long story or you want the short story?
We got time.
So long story, I was buying some, well back then we smoked Swisher Sweets. So I was buying some blunts for my weed and I was coming out of the store and the recruiter stopped me.
Yeah.
So she asked me, did I want to go to the Army? And I said, no. But I told her, I said, I got these charges pending. If you can get me out of these charges, I'll go.
Yeah.
So she asked me what the charges was for. I said, for stealing car. So she said, yeah, I can help you beat the charge, but you got to get clean first. Because I had just bought some blunts to smoke some weed. So she took me back in the store and bought a small bottle of Clorox and a quart of milk. So we went back to the recruiter's office. She put 2 drops of Clorox in each quart of milk, and I drank 2 quarts of milk with Clorox.
Clorox bleach?
Yeah, bleach.
And that cleaned the wood?
Crystal clear, dog. The next morning, she drove me to the MEP station, is where you go to sign up for the military. My pee was clear. And I'm talking about not a tint to it. That shit looked like water. Now, my stomach was up that night, though. I'm talking about I couldn't stand up. I was like balled up, but automatically clears you up. So that's a little tidbit for y'all. So later on in life, I learned if you just dip Q-tips in the Clorox, cut the tips off and freeze them. Drop you 2 of them, swallow them, follow with milk, you'll pass your piss test tomorrow. Little tidbit. Learn from that.
Shit.
So I took that idea of drinking the Clorox to freezing it on the Q-tips, like you making it little pills, you know
Like
what I
a
mean?
pill, yeah.
Yeah. Swallow you 2 of those and then it don't fuck up your stomach because by the time it dissolves, you done followed it with enough water to just piss it out. Got out the military, went home a couple of months, man, ended up here in 04.
How long you stayed in the military?
Yeah, close to 4 years.
Okay.
But that's a long story too. You know what I mean?
Shit. All right, so so tell me a little bit about Army life. What is the funniest and weirdest thing you saw in your time in the Army?
Believe it or not, it really depends on what you do in the military.
Okay, cool.
So let's say you have a real job. A real job consists of something meaning if you're needed worldwide or are you a stateside employee.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is if you work in the office, you ain't shooting no rifle. You ain't really in no action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you that motherfucker that's f***ing everybody woman that's really doing the real job that's overseas. You see what I'm saying? They overseas, you work in an office, so you work with all they women.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna really see no action. So your story gonna be that of a regular employee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my life, bro. I worked in the office. So I drove the colonel for a living. And if I wasn't driving the colonel, I would process new soldiers. So as they came in, I would show them where their barracks was. I'd give them their new uniforms, drop them off where they was at. That was my life for a minute, man.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna give you that gun hole story that I was.
Cause that's what I wanted to ask.
Well,
if everybody shoot.
No.
Okay,
But
cool.
it depends on the unit you're attached to.
Okay.
So my job was a 71 Lima clerical, but I was attached to 49th STB Special Troop Battalion. So I was attached to a Special Troop Battalion. So what that means is it doesn't matter what your job is. If your whole unit goes, you go.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If, like, let's say you in communication. If your unit goes, you go. Even in communication, you might still need somebody that's clerical.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are 92 Bravo, a tanker, 52 Charlie, it doesn't matter what your job is, you still gotta go with your unit. You get what I'm saying? So the unit that I was attached to, the main purpose of them was to process bodies when they came back. So if you got fucked up and got your face blowed off, they were responsible for bringing your body back.
Okay. Tell me a rule in the Army that really do make sense, because I know that they got a lot of rules in the Army.
No one left behind.
Oh yeah, I kind of have an idea about that, but just watching movies.
Well, I'll tell you this. Me coming from the streets, that whole brother shit really didn't resonate too well with me. For motherfuckers you don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But one thing that they teach you early along in basic, if you can't trust the person on the left and the right of you, it ain't gonna work. So that creates a bond, man, that's actually stronger than family. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because if you can't depend on the people on the left and the right of you, y'all ain't gonna make it. So the main thing of basic that I always tell people is to kill individuality. They want to remove all individuality out of you so you move as a unit and not an individual. So that no man left behind is so strong because you really do care about the people on the left and right of you.
All right, so basic training, what was that like?
Bullshit.
So
you went into so basically you joined the Army. If you said you left in 04, right?
No, I came here in 04.
So you left the Army when 03?
Yeah.
So you joined the Army like during
Right out of high school, but well, I was 19. Yeah, I went through 9/11.
You were in there in 9/11?
So this is the difference. When 9/11 happened, everybody wanted to go to war. Everybody.
Yeah.
Because we were so gun-ho. Imagine somebody teaching you how to shoot, how to kill, and do all this shit, and now you got a chance to do it for free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody was amped up to go.
Okay.
I went to airborne school. I did all this shit.
Gotcha.
But then I got set at a desk. It was different. I give you a long story or a short story.
Hold on. What we doing with it? Number 2 on the top or 1.5?
Man, I don't know you the ball. I want it smooth.
You want it smooth, I got you.
Babe, but not still dog.
Yeah, I got you.
So the unit I was supposed to go to was in North Carolina, Fort Bragg. I never made it to Bragg because I got into some fuck shit here in Georgia at Fort Benning. So they never sent me where I was supposed to go. So I ended up at Fort Lee in Virginia, stuck behind a desk. I never lost my individuality.
Okay.
I bought into being a soldier, but I never lost my individuality. And in order for it to work, you have to lose your individuality.
Okay, so you already know that it wasn't going to work with you.
I thought it would
Yeah.
after basic, but when I went to school, they gave me too much freedom.
Okay.
And with that freedom, I f***ed it up. You know what I'm saying?
You just reverted back to it.
Yeah. As long as you kept me on a short string,
Yeah.
I was good. But when you gave me freedom to go left or right, I would go left or right.
Yeah.
So they was like, this shit ain't gonna work. We ain't gonna send you to North Carolina. We're gonna send you to Virginia. The problem was for me, I went from a military structure with all men to somewhere that was men and women.
Okay.
So that f***ed me up.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to getting orders from all men. Now I show up. Swear to God. So I show up. I show up in Virginia. First day I knock on the door. This is the XO of the company. I knock on the door. She opened the door. She like 25, red bone, badder than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
no.
I automatically flip back. You get what I'm saying? I flip back because the shit fucked me up. So I was like, damn. She said, what, private? I said, my bad, man. It all fucked me up. You see what I'm saying? Because I hadn't seen a woman for real in uniform. I had only seen men. So right off the bat, she made me do some push-ups and shit for that. And my job, they set me at a desk and they told me to file papers. Just some bullshit, man. Now, mind you, I'm coming from the street and you want me to sit behind a typewriter. Well, it wasn't a typewriter, it was a computer at that point. And I was supposed to input the soldiers that came in and process everything they did as they went along. So when they would give me these stacks of papers, they would stack it up at the desk. Now, mind you, I'm like 19, 20 years old. I would just take the stack and throw the shit behind the file cabinet. You get what I'm saying? Because I wasn't finna do it. So after a couple of weeks, I got wrote up for that. I got smoked for that. And then the colonel said, hey, I need you to drive me somewhere. So I drove him, and he liked me as a driver, so that's what I became, the colonel driver. You know what I mean? Okay. So if you ask me if I like the military, it was cool. But it ain't what everybody think, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, for most people, it's a normal job. Everybody's not toting a rifle going overseas. Most of the time, the motherfucker that's overseas ain't your woman. Your woman's sitting back at an office somewhere getting fucked by somebody else because you've been overseas for 8 months. You ever heard that term, Jody? That's where it came from.
Jody?
Jody's fucking your girl.
Oh.
Because you overseas shooting a rifle somewhere. Jody back at the crib putting pole to you later.
All right, tell me one thing that you would tell any 19, 18-year-old that going to the military that is good, and tell me one thing that is bad about the military.
What I would say, the good thing is the benefits. 20 years and you're out of there with full pension. And if you do it right, full disability. So you can be getting close to $100,000 a year sitting on your ass. If that ain't good, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
The other benefit or thing I would tell people is important, man, is to pick a job that makes sense to you, that you can see yourself doing when you get out of the military if you don't put them 20 years in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't let them dictate what you're going to be doing as a career. Because if you go in and hate it, now you're still stuck to do that job.
Yep.
So the people that love what they do, they'll do 20 years easy because they got to work a regular job anyway. What's the difference?
All right, so when you go there, they don't try to choose the first, like maybe the first 4 years. They don't try to choose what you want.
Keep in mind, all this is based off your ASVAB score.
Oh.
So they're looking at how high you score to dictate what jobs you qualify for.
Okay, cool.
Then once they look at what you qualify for, they're going to look at what jobs they need filled. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The difference is you have to look at it like this, know your value. If you score high enough on the test, why take any job that they offer when really you can pick what you want?
Okay. All right, so I know you for a while. Man, I know you for a while, a real while.
Yeah.
I remember I used to travel to your house to cut, and we used to do music in your basement. So talking about the military and rappers and all of that, this is kind of a fun question, right? We was talking about basic training. Name me a few rappers you think that could make it through basic training, and a few that you think that will fail like the first month.
Okay. So DMX, I think, would be the perfect soldier. Because he grind and he would make it.
Yeah.
Gucci Man wouldn't make it through the military.
Really?
Because he gonna buck. He like me, he gonna buck every time.
Yeah.
T.I. gonna try to talk his way out of everything. So he ain't gonna make it. Who else? Jay-Z would probably make it, you know what I'm saying? Jay-Z really kind of lame, to be honest with you.
He kind of lame.
He lame as fuck, bro. He can rap good, but he lame as fuck. 50 might make it. 50 might be a drill sergeant, you know what I'm saying? 50 might make it, or he might try to beat somebody up and then end up getting put in prison.
What about Wayne?
Wayne ain't gonna pass the drug test.
Shit. All right, let me ask you something that everybody want to hear. Drake.
Drake might be getting somewhere.
Oh, shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, hey. Physically now, the average man is way too feminine, man.
Yeah,
and I talk about this
so,
all the time.
We're going to get into that later on. Remember that, Scott. Yeah. One more thing I want to ask you. I noticed there's a lot of army movie, military movie, right? Tell me a few things that you think Hollywood get wrong when it comes to that. Have you seen all kind of stuff?
Few things I would say would be the dress codes and how things are worn or fit. A lot of it is indicative, but they're doing it from angles that aren't the natural soldier.
Okay.
So let's say you're a Navy SEAL. A Navy SEAL or a Ranger, things like that when they're in the field, they can wear a beard. But the average soldier cannot have hair on his face.
Okay.
But when you watch these army movies, they're in the jungle with full beard. That's not normal. Not for the average soldier.
You came from the streets, you joined the military. Do you think that being in the military actually, even though you might have messed up here and there or whatever, do you think it had an impact on your life?
Oh, 100%.
Like your thought process.
It gave me structure and some discipline. And I say some because that structure of knowing how a unit works,
And the brotherhood?
it kind of took a lot of the individual ways I had of knowing my limitations as one person and what I could get done as a unit or a group of people.
Gotcha.
It's iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Man's natural instinct is to be combative, or how would you say? So it's an animal instinct. It's no different than the lion in the jungle. As long as there's no competition, we're all good.
Yeah.
But as soon as there's competition, there's always cream gonna rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
So If there's no women around, we can just be brothers.
Yeah.
But if women around, it complicates things. If it's just us, we okay. But as soon as you put something else in the water, it's piranhas, bro. You're going to attack. You can't help it, even if you try to stay away from it. And that's what I said. I was good until you introduced me to females around me.
Gotcha.
Now I can do as I please. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a if she the captain or the XO no more. You know what I mean? She's still a female. Yeah, you still a female. That's another story too, because I did double back. But
I was waiting to hear what happened with her.
Well,
how many times you done?
Let me tell you how this goes. This is what I learned after I had been there a couple of months. Everybody's a soldier Monday through Friday. Friday night, everybody puts on regular clothes. So if I just happen to see you out
in regular clothes,
you're no longer
a soldier.
Yeah, all that bullshit go out the window then. You can't tell me to do a goddamn thing. So now that same aggression I had when I was in uniform, that's just attracted to her now. And she going for that shit.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I would go to the XO club where all of them hung out. And I would just knock them down one by one,
so you
man.
were on base?
It's worse than college.
Like in a good way or bad way?
In a good way. Imagine Friday night comes. Everybody has money in their pocket. This is the difference between college and military. Everybody has money in their pockets. And it's a big ass dorm room with all females and males mixed.
Okay.
We have money so we can buy as much alcohol as we want. Now the difference between college and military. The women don't mind having sex because they have the same masculine energy you do.
Yeah.
They went through the same things that you do. So they don't look at being loose as a negative thing. If they want some they're going to tell you they want some
All my life, I've been hearing that nurses, army female, and police female.
It's different.
Right? They are the ones who get a lot of,
because they have that same masculine energy.
Yeah.
They don't care to be labeled.
So I keep telling people, I'm like, yo, if there's a woman out there for 6 months, right? And she have nothing.
She come in ready.
When she get the chance, she's already ready because she don't care. And I'm saying it, and everybody thinking that I'm like, my woman not going into the army. I don't care. I don't care. She not going in no army.
It's different. It's different. If she has a man, then when she gets that free time, hopefully she's going to her man.
So what if my woman is over there in Texas and I'm over here? You gonna tell me every week? That's what I'm saying.
But I told you. Yeah, what did I tell you my job was? I in-process soldier. So when they came, like let's say you came from AIT, which is the school you go to after you get out of basic training. So you've been in basic training for 12 weeks. Then you go to school. Your school could be another 8 to 40 weeks. Now you're finally going to your job. At this point, you've not been free. So when you get to your final destination, this is where you're going to work it. I'm the first motherfucker you meet. And I take you to get all your gear for where you're going. I show you where you stay. And the last thing I tell you, hey, if you want me to show you around, my room number is.
Oh, God.
So.
They gonna get it, bro.
So what would happen was.
So I'm worried about if my girl go to the military. I've been always thinking about that. My girl not going to the military.
I've seen some.
I don't care what kind of benefit she gonna get.
Yeah, I've seen some good ones, but in the end of the day, they all falter, bro.
Yep.
I ain't gonna.
My cousin told me that in the military before when we were in Jamaica. He told me like I see some girl like that girl came here as a saint, virgin. Now she's not anymore.
Because you're in rooms watching people every weekend.
Wow.
True story. So I got my partner, he like my brother. I'm finna fly back home. He say, no, I'll drive you back to Virginia. I say, okay, bro, you're gonna have the time of your life.
Where were you at this point?
That's a 9.5 hour drive. But he's never been to Virginia. So I'm like, cool, bro, you can drive me back.
Was he in the military?
No.
Okay.
But I tell him, I say, you're going to have the fucking time of your life. So he makes a 9.5 hour drive, 12 hours, because he in an old ass square body Caprice. But that's neither here nor there. We get back. I got a roommate. Everybody has a roommate. It's only 2 people per room. So you got 2 beds, a couch in the middle, and your bathroom. So we get back. I think it's a Saturday night. Virginia is right next to DC. You have Baltimore, New York, everything close. So you can drive to it or you can go down to the beach. A couple of my buddies said we going to Richmond. So we were going to go to Richmond, Virginia, party that night. I invited a few chicks over to the room because just my bro, you know what I mean? Like, hang out, you know what I'm saying? Woo, woo. So lo and behold, I tell this white chick to give him some head.
Yeah.
So she's giving him fellatio. I'm shaving. We all in the same room now.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, it went from that to intercourse. So they're on the couch in the middle of me and Kevin's beds. The other girls have left because they know we all going out. So they're going to get dressed. Now they full on. They hit it. I don't give a So I say, well, bro, you going out with us or what you gonna do? He don't even look up. So I'm like, fuck it. So me and Kevin leave. We gone for hours. And I do me. You know, you go out 9 o'clock, you might come in 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah, that's like 5 hours.
So come back. What? They still at it. So they sit up since me and Kevin back in the room. So I'm in the mirror. She white girl get up. She come and say, no disrespect, D, but he's better than you. I said, for real? I said, you right, because I'm not finna sit here and stick your ass for 5 hours. So he over there smiling on the couch, right? So this one makes it funny. So he's smiling on the couch. I say, so you think that shit funny? She just said, right? So I tell her, I said, get up, get in my bed. What do you think she does?
Get up and get in your bed.
So he's pulling on her like, no, wait. I said, bro, you was just laughing, right?
Yeah.
You thought what she said was funny.
Yeah.
But I see what she did, right? I said, there's a difference between me and you. You fucked her for hours and she's still listening. Oh, boy. So that's when he learned a valuable lesson that day, bro. Like, you can do all that humping and bumping, but she gonna listen to who she gonna listen to. But that's just one of them stories, man.
One of them stories. All right, so I need to talk about a few things about America. There's a lot of stuff that I never understand, though. You know? But what's one American tradition that you think the rest of the world should adapt?
I always said democracy. I mean, you have the freedom of speech, one, but two, you have choices in America that a lot of other countries aren't afforded. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like Russia. That's more of a dictatorship where whatever Vladimir Putin say, it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Same way in other countries like North Korea, whereas America, you pretty much can say whatever the hell you want to say, bro. Now, there are repercussions for the most part, but you can say and do whatever you want to do.
All right, so like, I know America culture is kind of, you know, I don't even know if they have a culture sometimes. But if you're supposed
What you mean we ain't got no culture?
I don't know, bro.
If I come from Jamaica, now we ain't got no culture.
All right, so what's the national dish in America, though?
I will agree with you in the fact when you say it doesn't have culture because it's a melting pot of lies.
Yes.
America is built on lies. However, there is culture.
Okay.
Depending on what side of the street you on. You have Southern culture, you have Northern culture.
Okay.
It's not the same.
Because I noticed some things with America is like most of the states are kind of like a different country.
It is.
Yeah,
And it's
like a
been
country
that
by
way
itself.
from day one, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to say states. It's still more northern and southern.
Okay.
You know, northern people are usually more liberal in the regards of the way they move. They're more inclusive. That doesn't mean racism doesn't exist up north,
Okay.
but it's still more open. Like you go to a state like California, they're all inclusive. It's like flower power. You gay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Whatever goes in California goes. Whereas if you come to Tennessee or Mississippi, that shit ain't flying. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same way as interracial marriage. Some states is gonna be a little bit more cool with that, and others is gonna be a little bit more looked down upon. So it's not per state, it's just per side, more or less.
You know a few things about America's culture, right?
Correct.
So if you're about to like explain American culture to an alien, how would you do that? What do you tell them about the country?
I would say you're in the land of opportunity. That's the biggest thing that most people get in America that they don't get in other countries. That's why everybody floods to America, because they believe in the American dream. If you want to own a business, if you want to diversify, that's one of the biggest advantages that you get in America that you don't get in other places. I'm not going to say you can't do it in other countries, but it's more widely accepted entrepreneurism here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if we are in a land of opportunity, right? They keep telling us we're in a land of opportunity and all of that. Then why they don't want nobody here? They like tell people like, go back where you're coming from. And the worst thing is like, none of you guys are from here.
Well, the irony of it that I feel when you say go back here, we'll just speak on Hispanic culture alone. Why do Hispanics come here? Because they know that they're going to be guaranteed work. What is the last construction site or road crew that you went and saw that wasn't all Hispanic? That's a question.
Yeah, I've never seen much.
So if the road crews you go to and every construction site that's building every business and home is all Hispanic, the next question would be who's hiring them? Ain't nobody that look like me hiring them, right? Yeah. So the same person that's hiring them has to pay them, right? Mm-hmm. Do that person look like me again?
No.
So the same people that's saying they need to go back home is the same people that's employing them.
Yeah.
So if you don't want Hispanics to come, quit giving them jobs. So my point is, why are they coming? Because they know they have work here and will get paid a decent wage, and compared to Mexico, even though it's half the wage what the average black person will work for. Mm-hmm. So the shit upsets me when Trump says, well, the Mexicans are taking all the black jobs. Who the want to pick oranges? I ain't picking no goddamn oranges or no cotton. So it's almost an insult when he say black jobs. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm not hiring Hispanic. They are. So if you knew you didn't have no money when you got to this state, so somebody's calling these folks and saying, when you get here, I got a job. Otherwise, you think they running to get to America? They already guarantee you work.
Okay, one little thing. What's a forgotten moment in America that most people should know about? I think this one is easy for you.
A forgotten moment. No one really forgot 9/11. But I think one of the biggest things we talk about that kind of gets swept up under the rug is when motherfuckers talk about the Nina, the Pinta, all that shit, and all these boats coming to America, people forget about Native Americans. Like, if you got an indigenous people who are native to this land, where are they at now? Where they all at now?
I've never seen one. Unless it's in a movie or...
Because they've been drove off into the mountains. If you go to Colorado, you'll find Native Americans. If you go to the mountains in North Carolina, you'll find Native Americans. But they're regulated to one area of the country, and they were given a piece of their own land back. Imagine, bro, if I stole all your shoes and gave you one pair back and said,
here's a all-star.
Yeah, you good with them one pair of shoes, homeboy, but the rest of these out. That's basically what happened, man. Mm-hmm. So you basically almost just did away with a whole culture of people, bro. I mean, for most people, we don't understand the difference between Indians and Indians. We call them Indians, but really they Native Americans, but are they native? That ain't, who said they call Native? They might not even call themselves Native Americans. I don't call myself African American. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, but what I noticed is the Native American kind of look like Hispanic in some ways.
They do. They're a little bit more darker in most cases.
Okay.
So, it's not the same though. Just like if you ask an Aztec, is he Mexican? He'll tell you. Like if you go to the Aztec mountains, the people who believe in that culture don't believe in Mexican culture. It's totally different. Mm-hmm. No different than a Puerto Rican or a Dominican. A Dominican to me ain't nothing but a black dude that speaks Spanish, but that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we can argue about that later. I always tell black folks this, bro, and I think I told you this too. It's all in when you got dropped off, homeboy. If you got dropped off for me, you might speak a little different. Your folk got dropped off in Jamaica. My folk got dropped off in the South. You still just as black as me. If you go to the Dominican Republic, he's blacker than me. He's gonna tell me, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. Nigga, you speak Spanish. That's the only difference. Your shit just as nappy as mine.
If you're to make a Mount Rushmore, right? First thing first, what is Mount Rushmore about?
So, Mount Rushmore would be the most influential presidents of our time. However, you can't say that and continue having presidents. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So, one would stay for me. Then I would probably take the rest off. I mean, if you know the lineage or the history of these presidents, then I don't know if you would be cool with keeping them up there.
Okay.
So I would keep Lincoln. Yeah. Lincoln, I would probably claim. Just because he freed the slaves. Even though the motherfucker had slaves, he still freed them.
But black people had slaves.
True. But the difference was where they treated, every culture had slaves. The difference was how they were treated. It's the difference between a slave and really being a servant or were you really a slave. In America, they treated slaves like cattle or animals. You really had no say-so. It's a difference. A slave and potentially in most cultures were just workers. You came to America, you got your ass beat. And if you didn't stay in line, you got your ass hung, lynched. Like, in most cases, people don't know that we're not that far removed from slavery. Not even 500 years.
I wanna go back on that slavery thing, but tell me who you'll put on the Mount Rushmore.
Who I'm replacing the rest of them with?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm keeping old Honest Abe. I'm putting King up there just because I feel he was influential.
Oh, Martin Luther King.
I'm putting Martin Luther up. And the other two people I'm putting up there based off the history that they made in America or globally around the world. I would have to put Bill Gates up there because Bill Gates has been influential. There is no computer system really without Bill Gates. You get what I'm saying? And the last I would probably say Mark Zuckerberg. Even though people are going to be indifferent about social media, that's truly when social media opened up with Facebook.
That Facebook thing.
You know what I mean? So to me, that was very influential. So my Mount Rushmore is more as who's been influential to global culture.
Yeah.
Not just American.
Not just the country.
I'm leaving Abe up there because if I'm not just thinking, what did you contribute? But on a global scale, what did you contribute? The only reason Abe and Martin is up there is because those two people were influential for us to be sitting here in America having this conversation.
Okay.
The other two is just more. Damn. Somebody didn't like that answer. Damn. Man, what you want me to put back up there? That whole roof started shaking. Damn. My bad. Put Jesus up there. Jesus, you on Mount Rushmore. My bad, bro. My bad, for real.
Yo.
He's like, how you gonna leave me out? My bad.
Yo.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, a stereotype that's actually true about America.
We're assholes. But that's true.
Yeah.
You ever been to New York?
Yeah, I know those are some assholes over there. Sorry for my New Yorkers.
Everybody's in a hurry to get no fucking where. But New Yorkers love New Yorkers, but don't nobody else love New Yorkers. Dude, first trip to New York. We had an excursion, which is a big ass truck, don't get me wrong, but I got 7 people with me and a whole bunch of luggage. So we're downtown Manhattan, we're staying downtown Manhattan. They tell me, well, there's nowhere for you to park this big ass truck. You gotta find a parking garage. I'm like, that's kind of stupid, but okay. We unpacked the excursion and my wife says, well, I'm gonna find somewhere to park. So I'm like, cool. She calls me 15 minutes later and say, I found somewhere to park. So I say, cool, how you gonna get back to the hotel? She said, well, I'll figure out how to get back. She calls me back and realizes she doesn't have the key to the car. And now somebody's telling her she needs to move the truck, but she can't move the truck.
She turned it off already.
She already turned it off. So she called me and she's like, I ain't got the key. I'm like, damn, I got the key. I hit the shit on the GPS once I see her location. That shit 15 minutes away. I can't walk there that fast and you in the middle of nowhere. So in New York, they got the little bike guys with the, the little bench on the back. So when I come out of the hotel, I don't even ask him how much it costs. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, bro, take me here. No problem. So he take me there. I give my wife the key. She parked the truck. Her and my daughter get on the little trolley thing. So he's like, you in Manhattan, man, let me show you around. I'm thinking, cool, dog. Show me around Manhattan. He shows me around. He take a few pictures for us. We get back to the hotel. I'm thinking the mother gonna say $40, $50. You ain't did nothing but ride a bike, right? This nigga say $300. I'm like, bro.
That's New York for you.
You want me to give you $300 for riding a bike? Now that's 15 minutes. You ain't taking 15 minutes on the bike because you cutting through shit.
Yeah.
Now you took the scenic route back, but you talking about $300. And you serious. So I'm paying this motherfucker $300 to take me on a bike ride.
That's great.
First problem. Now we decide we want to go on a little boat trip, you know what I'm saying, to see the, what you call the statue? Statue of Liberty. I can see the Statue of Liberty. It took 4 hours to get there for something I can see. So it can't be far if I can see it.
Yeah.
4 hours. I'm a New Yorker by the time I get to where I'm going. I'm like, this shit. Get out the way. You know what I'm saying? I see why they're so upset in New York.
Yeah,
bro.
that driving
It's
thing.
too overpopulated for one. And everybody's always in a hurry because they're always late.
We're about to have some of that problem down here because all the New Yorkers coming down here. You know, they say most of the accident in Atlanta is up north people.
Bro,
They don't
New York
wait.
People are going to kill you in the comments, bro.
It's okay.
Yeah, bro.
Go ahead and kill me. It's okay.
I don't got a problem with people from New York.
Yeah.
It's New York. Like, if you from New York, you know how to move around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
that's
get
true.
that. The problem is, if you're not, you're going to think you can move around like any other
I
state.
remember one time I drove to New York, so I have my car to get around, right? I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't have to jump on a train or a bus or
You're
whatever.
supposed to get on the
Bro,
train.
listen, I was driving to Manhattan one day and, you know, I almost missed my turn. So I was like trying to go over to make the turn. Cause you know, in Atlanta, you can just stop on the island. Bro, the way the cars was out, zoom, zoom, zoom. Bro, my indicator was on.
Gonna get your face told.
My arms was out. I had to itch up on that damn island for like about 10 minutes
before
I
get
can
in.
move.
And nobody's been. So here, okay, the difference. In Georgia, if you tell somebody you need to get over, all you got to do is give them that. Then they're going to let you in.
Yep.
In New York, it's like.
I
you know-
see something in Georgia that I never see nowhere else in the world.
What?
If the stoplight is not working and you come to a four-way,
People know how to communicate.
everybody come and stop and wait
Yeah, they
for the
turn.
person before them.
Yeah, you're going to have assholes that just want to get what they want to get. But for most people, they'll follow the, you go, I go, you go, you go. And you have that asshole like me, because that's me. And y'all. Shit, y'all ain't went, I ain't waiting. You know?
All right, so we're going to talk about the rap culture now. Because I know you know a little bit about the rap culture, right? So if you could bring back one rapper for the future, right? Is it for the future or for a feature? If you can bring back one rapper for a feature, who would it be?
Be
And why?
Tupac. Now, mind you, I'm 44 years old, so the answer might be different for somebody 25. But for
Yeah.
me, at 44, it would be Tupac. You know?
Why?
Why? Because I think one word that Nipsey, which would be my second option, is somebody that's prolific. Like, you have to look at how many people's music will continue after they're gone. You know, for a 20-year-old to still know Tupac's music, even though they were born during that time,
Mm-hmm.
that shows you how prolific and influential that person was. Now, if you look at that on the flip side and you say new generation music, how much of it is going to translate 40 years from now?
Bro, I don't, to be honest, I don't even know if I know a Tupac song.
But that's understandable based off where you're from.
But I know every Biggie song.
But you know Tupac.
Yes, I know every Biggie. I know every Busta Rhymes.
And see, that's the difference.
I know every Missy Elliott.
But see, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. What you're telling me is, even in a different country, you guys embraced up north music because every artist.
So Tupac is down the
He's
west
not
side.
down south, but it's more west side.
West
So,
side.
every artist, for instance, every artist you just named is more northern.
Okay.
Now, if you would have said, man, we only listen to Ice Cube, Spice One, that means in Jamaica, y'all were listening to more West Coast music. You know what I'm saying? But it's a whole genre of down south music that you probably never listened to. Like, for people to say, I'm a Jay-Z fan, they might not even know who 8Ball and MJG is. These are people who are down and around the same structural time. Yeah.
You got one point when all like every album, every song of the year, it go to Andre 2000, that boy, Big Boy. That's his
But
name.
it didn't. You remember the first year that they actually won, they got booed off the stage.
Oh yeah.
The first year they won Rap Album of the Year,
Mhm.
they got booed. That's when he said, 3000 said, the South got something to say. Because they weren't used to, at that time, the
The
South
South kind of music.
running music.
Oh.
Because it's always been up north or West Coast music.
Okay.
So in a different country, you're saying we listen to more northern music.
Yeah, cause when that dude come with Sorry Mix Jackson, and you know the rest of them. Sorry Mix Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I am for real.
I know all of them.
Well, Andre 2000 is hard as
3,000.
2000, 3000,
You gotta
5000.
tell hell 3,000.
No,
But it's so many artists that you probably never heard of.
Yeah, for
It's just
real.
like in Jamaica, we only know the mainstreams, like a Vibe Cartel. Well, no, even like a Vibe Cartel would be that real Jamaican culture.
Yeah.
But we only know Shaggy and Sean Paul because that's what crossed over.
You know,
Yeah.
I know Beat It, but those are the people that crossed over.
Okay.
Mhm.
So who crossed over for y'all were the Jay-Z, the Rakim, the Puff
Yeah,
Daddy.
Lil
you know?
Wayne.
But it's a whole. But see, Lil Wayne was the transition when the South took over.
Yeah, Lil Wayne is an artist of all time.
But that's after the South took over.
Now we're gonna come to that later. But what I want to ask you though, what is one of the most underrated rap album of all time?
Believe it or not, for me again, and I'm from the South, it would be 8 Ball solo album. It was called Lost. The lyrical content on it's a double CD. The lyrical content, I'm gonna tell y'all if y'all never listened to it. The album is called Lost. And I will put that double CD up against anybody's best album, and it's gonna hold its weight. What I realized, just because you're lyrical doesn't mean you're popular.
Yeah, for real. I know him though. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, for instance,
I know
who's a
him.
better artist, Jay-Z or Nas?
All right. To be honest, if I'm gonna pick on that one, I never really listened to Nas, but I heard a lot of people say a lot of great stuff about him. But for me, I still wouldn't say Jay-Z because I don't know why Jay-Z is this. I just think it's Beyonce.
No, you know what made Jay
Mhm.
supreme is because everybody that was in his category or league is dead. So he got the top by default. There is no biggie.
He was the smarter one.
Not necessarily smarter, he just lasted longer. There
So
is
he
no
was there-
Biggie.
He was there with
There is
Biggie
no
and Tupac.
Tupac.
He was there with Biggie and Tupac.
But he wasn't heard of for real until after they died.
Oh.
So he's the last man standing of that
Okay.
caliber that's still alive.
Gotcha.
Nas is still alive, but Jay-Z is more influential.
Gotcha.
Jay-Z started working with down south rappers. You know what I'm saying? You remember, A.M. spending cheese,
Yeah.
Big Pimpin' on BLAD. He went and got to start fucking with southern rappers because southern rap was blowing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So most up north guys start to figure that out later on. When the South started to take off, motherfuckers from up north, they still wanted to maintain that supremacy. But the motherfuckers that was smart, they started messing with southern orders.
Yeah.
That's what Jay-Z did.
All right, so I noticed that I can hear when, especially up north rappers, I can hear what they're saying, but I know the South got this thing where they been doing trap music and all that. Bro, I can't hear nothing that they're saying.
Now or prior?
I remember when they just started like, and
That's
the next
now,
thing,
though.
the next thing, what I know about them is even if you can hear them, they're off track. All right, let me tell you this. What's his name right now? The artist, the biggest thing in Atlanta right now. Lil Baby.
Yeah.
When I know him start rapping, he's lyrical. I'm not gonna lie. I can give him that. I can hear a few of his songs that he's lyrical. But when I heard some of his songs, they're off key. The first time I heard one of his, listen.
I ain't never heard no Baby song.
Come on, just listen to me, bro. Just listen to me.
Listen.
The first time I heard one of his songs that sound like it's on the beat is when he did a song with Drake. I don't remember which song.
No.
You know which song that is.
Baby riding the hell out the beat to me on most of his shit, bro. And I'm not even a Baby fan.
Like he says, because he doesn't understand, so he thinks they're Bro.
You don't have to understand somebody to know if they're on the beat.
But most of I'll tell you the problem nowadays.
Tell me the problem.
Most of the music is now becoming more melodic. They're trying to make their voices an instrument.
Yeah, I noticed that for real.
That's where a lot of it comes into play. So now you're adding auto-tune to a motherfucker that can't sing, and now it's becoming more mumble.
So
like
what I'm
Thug started that shit though. Young Thug started that.
But what I'm saying though, if you can't sing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're on a beat, you can't tell me that gonna sound good the way the Northern rappers used to do it. Or the way Atlanta rappers used to do it.
That's the difference. Prior to that, motherfuckers wasn't sing rapping. You had a few artists that did it and they wouldn't use an auto-tune.
Yeah, but what I'm saying right now is if you hear them, the beat is saying different melody from what they're saying.
I can't agree with you when you say baby, because he be riding the
all right, but
that's one of the advantages that he does.
But maybe since
now,
late.
Now maybe you might be talking about Da Baby.
No, that baby.
He be all off the guy.
That baby is the same.
That motherfucker be goddamn bouncing.
But I know he's lyrical too.
He's lyrical as fuck, but he's
never on the beat.
Nah, he ain't
but it's not only just them, but
now the worst motherfucker though. But no, the worst one is Blueface. Blueface ain't never been on a beat on a song in his life.
What's the weirdest, the wildest conspiracy theory about hip hop? The wildest conspiracy theory.
I don't know if it is a wild one, bro, because if you've been to a couple of these parties, which I'm sure you have, freak shit really does happen.
Like some of those puffy parties.
Bro, the problem is these motherfuckers got so much money.
Yeah.
That
they get bored.
They get bored.
Do new things.
They get bored. And I've been to a few of these parties, man.
You been to a Diddy party?
Oh, you been to a Diddy party?
I've been to a Diddy.
Okay.
Let's get that shit. Let's get that shit.
Hey, my ass some baby.
But I've been to a lot of listening parties of artists, man, that people actually would know. And it'd be mounds of fucking cocaine. You know what I'm saying? So at 4:00 in the morning, everybody's fucking high off ecstasy and cocaine. What do you think is gonna happen next? Wow. There's a bunch of fucking going on. And you might have 12 people in one room fucking. Now, if you Diddy, that shit might have slipped somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So, who knows, bro? But yeah, this shit does get wild.
One more thing. I
don't know if I believe. I don't know if I believe in the whole Illuminati shit, doors, but I don't put it past based off, like you said, my get bored, dog. I ain't got that bored yet.
All right, so I got a list, right? I know you can be, cause for me, I don't care what nobody want to say. Lil Wayne is the hardest rapper.
Old Lil Wayne, yes. New Lil Wayne, no.
So they got top 50 all time rappers. So I'm gonna tell you the top 5.
You put Wayne at your top?
I'll put Wayne at my top.
Oh,
not my top, but at that top.
Yeah, Hot Boy Wayne or like Carter.
It does.
Carter 2.
First thing it say all time. So if he did some job back then and whatever, I'll still say. If you say yes,
so when you was in Jamaica, was you listening to Lil Wayne?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let me tell you what Lil Wayne bring to the music. I say is just like vibes order. So first thing, not a Millie. You know when you say Martin Luther King and Facebook dude and those, Lil Wayne bring that word bling bling. If it's not him, you know that's Lil Wayne bring tattoo on the face and all over the body in the rap music. Lil Wayne bring dreadlocks in the business. You want me to say anything more?
I mean, he didn't bring it in the business, but I get it.
But I'm saying that, yeah, I get it. All right, check the next thing that he
made it popular.
Lil Wayne is one of the smallest dude in the business. Lil Wayne got the hottest baby mamas in the entire business.
You really think that?
Bro, listen. This dude got the hottest baby mama in the entire business.
But you got money, you should. Let me say if I put M's in your pocket.
Bro,
You probably have some hot baby mamas too, bro. Let's just be real.
I have the hottest baby mama from Jamaica. The hottest baby mama.
Now
from
imagine
America.
if you was rich. A lot of
By the
times,
way, I'm kidding.
it's two things that makes you popular.
Mm-hmm.
One, are you popular? And two, do you have money?
Yeah.
Jay-Z proved that. Because Beyonce is not with Jay-Z because of the money.
Yeah.
But she's with him because of what he brings. The power of the culture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me you look at that motherfucker and say, this nigga handsome. You lying. Lying.
Yeah, money
So-
make any nigga handsome though. You know
But think
that. Right?
about this. She didn't even need the money, bro.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the
But
power.
power make you handsome
It
too.
became a power couple.
Power make you handsome
Yeah,
too.
but
you know
then
that?
together they're a power couple. That's my point.
Yeah, that's
You
one
know
of
what I'm
the
saying?
biggest.
She could have any man she wanted, dog. She
Mhm.
chose Jay-Z.
All right.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right, so before we go into that, so this top 5 here is Jay-Z at number 1, Kendrick Lamar at number 2. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. Lil Wayne at number 3. J. Cole at number 4. Tupac at number 5. Drake at 6. Drake at 6.
As much as you hate Drake, you have to put him high.
Drake cannot be at 6. I'll put him bit closer. I'll
know
say
why?
maybe about
Because in the end of
3
the
or
day,
4.
how many artists?
Wait.
Let's just go back.
Say this to the camera, please.
Let's just go back. I'm not even truly a Drake fan.
Yeah.
But if I put one artist out of your top 5 that you just named
Mm-hmm.
and said make a song by yourself,
Yeah.
how many could really do it and make a hit? Drake can literally go in there
Mm-hmm.
and do the whole song by himself. He can
Yep.
sing the chorus, he can do whatever he need, and it's gonna sound like different artists.
Not to
And
cut
he can do
you.
the whole song.
Not to cut you. The reason why I respect Lil Wayne the way he is, for the last, say, 15 years,
Mhm.
almost every artist that come mainstream, Lil Wayne make them a hit. If it's not Lil Wayne, it's Drake. All of them, Kendrick Lamar and all of them talking about Drake and Lil Wayne give them their first number 1.
Man, Kendrick is one of my top artists. But
Mhm.
when you compare and say who makes better music,
It's gonna be Drake.
Drake.
Yeah.
Who makes better albums, Kendrick. Because Kendrick still makes a cohesive thought in his album.
Mhm.
It makes sense when you listen to the whole project.
Okay.
Drake makes singles, but they're hard ass singles.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
So one thing I want to say, I want you to give me your top 5. But one thing I want to say before I go nowhere, Kanye West is at 7, Nicki Minaj is at 8. I always say this: that chick is other than a lot of dudes I've been seeing rapping
Bro,
all over the years.
Pause. I'm gonna say Megan kills her one-on-one. Anybody in the comments, you might be upset.
Megan,
Megan Thee Stallion is one of the hardest female
I
rappers
can't believe this
ever.
dude said Megan Stallion is harder than Nicki Minaj.
Bro,
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to tell you, bro, if you go bar for bar, Megan versus Nicki, that shit gonna be way harder, bro.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nicki Minaj is the only female that says stuff that not even dudes think about.
When have you
Megan-
really listened to Megan?
But you can't say, I listened to her yesterday in my car.
Okay, you
All Megan talk about is her body and sex.
pause.
I was
Here's my
on the
point.
radio.
If you want to say, get them glow, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you.
Listen,
I ain't mad at you, bro.
I only know one of Megan's song, and that's her first song that she did.
Bro, when she came out, I said she was going to kill. Okay, I'll tell you this. Any song that she's on with other females, she always had the hardest verse, bro.
She got an artist verse, but I think she rapped too fast. Doesn't matter what the
But
rhythm
now
is.
you're saying the style. I'm telling you, bar for bar, she eat Nicki goddamn 5 fucking individual
I like to
brains.
see her eat Nicki though.
Bro, yeah.
I enjoy that shit.
These dudes, bro.
I give you your top 5 that you put for top 5 of all time. You want the list?
Top 5.
You want the list to
Dylan, and Dylan.
What the hell is that?
See, this how you know he ain't from America. So, you know,
Everybody know I'm not from America.
P. Diddy had this show called Making the Band, right?
Yeah.
And it was a Jamaican guy that was on one of the seasons of Making the Band. He was a rapper, but he was Jamaican.
Yeah.
So they asked him, who is your top 3 rappers?
Mm-hmm.
And this motherfucker said, Dylan, and Dylan.
Who's
Well,
Dylan?
that's his name.
Oh shit! Yeah. Dylan.
Man, I can't believe you ain't heard that.
No, we don't hear that. We don't watch nothing with P Diddy.
No, back then everybody wanted to be.
No, we don't care about Diddy
because he had his own.
All right,
Bro,
back then.
No, I don't want to get off of that because people are goddamn crucifying this man that has no proof of their own to say he did.
Bro, what they're trying to do is just try to get black people to put down another black man.
That's it. And
I just think that's
why
what
we
they're
got
trying to
this platform.
And I'm not saying that he do this or he never did it.
Bro,
I'm just saying
look
that's what
at
they're
the
trying to
charges.
do.
They're trying to charge him for sex trafficking or soliciting prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
Because a motherfucker drive across state lines to get some and get some money for it, that ain't a crime. If that's a crime, you'd have to arrest every athlete, bro. If this want got 500 bottles of baby oil, that's his business. Point is, this man shouldn't be in prison. We shouldn't be gauging him on his sexual exploitation. Whatever this man want to do behind closed doors, that's his fucking business, bro. He shouldn't be in prison for that. The reason I say that, this man ain't got no bond, bro. Come on.
All right, so I want your top 5, and then I want to ask you who you think is the greatest R&B.
R. Kelly. Yeah, R. Kelly.
Okay.
King R&B.
All right, who you put second and third?
Behind R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Probably gonna
Not
be.
behind him, but beside him. Yeah, no behind.
Everybody's gonna be in an order of a list of tiers.
Yeah, but we put it on then.
So
we don't put nobody behind nobody.
Top and lower.
Yes.
I'm gonna put Usher behind him, and then I'm gonna put Usher and Chris Brown next to each other.
Okay, but you can put
R&B?
Usher before Chris Brown.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm putting them side by side.
Okay, so they're like 2.
Yeah,
both of them
because
together.
I'm only giving Usher the credit.
Because he been here longer.
He been here long and he got but the body of music is almost the same now. But in the end, Chris will probably end up being bigger than Usher. But who knows? Usher might come out with a mega hit.
To be honest, you don't have to go nowhere. I just want to hear about those 2 people.
But none of them are above R. Kelly.
Yeah. All right, give me your top 5 now. We don't have to go. We know everything about R. Kelly.
Hip hop,
Top 5 hip hop.
Pac still number 1.
I know you're gonna put Pac at number 1.
Pac still number 1. My number 2 is gonna be Scarface.
Damn, I don't even see Scarface on this 50.
That's the problem.
Shit. Wait, let me check.
And you know why? Because I'm big on storytelling. If you can tell the story and I can see that shit, like envision what you're saying, it's gonna be dope to me.
By the way, talking about that, you're talking about Nicki Minaj. I always hear people talking about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. So,
And that ain't in
this list have Cardi B at 48.
That's what we did it. Like,
Yeah,
on.
so you can go ahead and keep comparing it.
If she wrote something cool, even if she wrote something, it ain't it. What making it?
Megan, she's not even on there.
Cap, who made this list?
Shoot.
Hey, shout out to Megan.
Lil Kim is at 16. Missy Elliott is at number 12. 13.
Wow.
Andre 3000 at 11. Don't play with him. Yeah, he's hard. But what I see is 50 Cent at 24.
You have to remember some young enough, so.
Lauryn Hill is on it.
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill is on it.
Wow.
And I still can't see Megan.
Some place to be nobody.
Bad Bunny is on it. By the way, talking about
I don't even understand none of that. Like, I always thought Bad Bunny was a girl.
Eminem is at 10. But you still haven't given me your 5. You only give me 2.
I'm gonna do the rest.
Go ahead and give me.
So 3,000 is up there. I don't have it's kind of hard. I don't have an order after number 1, but it's gonna be 3,000. I've never been a Biggie fan, but I like Biggie music. Cause see, I can only go by what's in my car. Like, if I'm picking an artist, what I'm gonna listen to. Nas, I can ride to Nas. DMX.
Hey, wait. How much is that? Nas, Biggie, DMX.
I ain't say no. I said I ain't never really fuck with Big. I listen to
Listen,
Biggie.
so you got 4. Let me tell you something before you say nothing else. You still haven't seen Lil Wayne.
Cause no, I don't rock Lil Wayne like that. Because
So you're picking. Not only will you ride with, but you're picking the greatest of all time. You're 5.
Wayne's not gonna be there, bro.
Okay, I don't want to hear nothing
Yeah,
else.
Wayne's
Let's
not gonna be
go to
there.
something else. Let's talk about
No,
that.
no, get me wrong now. If you were asking me who's the king of punchlines and witty lyrics, Wayne.
So he's one of the greatest of that.
But you see, I told you I'm basing my top 5 off who could tell the best stories.
Okay, yeah.
Like
You did say that. You
who
did
could
say
paint the picture, like who gave me a complete album. And all of these artists, they did that.
But my thing is, they're just talking about their lives, though.
But it's not.
Put the lights
In most of these guys' life, they're not sipping lean, they're not popping pills.
Okay.
A lot of them aren't though. You get what I'm saying? But let's talk about popping bands and all this shit. I'm from the South.
So drink it.
It's a Southern thing.
Bro,
See what I'm
I
saying?
already talked to you about this dude right here. Bro.
It's a Southern thing though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
saying?
But the difference is we
I tried it.
really pulled a fold. Like really, back then it wasn't that shit they got now. Like back then we were doing Tussonets. Y'all motherfuckers probably don't even know what Tussonets is. That shit was so thick you couldn't even get it out the bottle. Then it crossed over the promethazine. You get what I'm saying?
All right.
Or maybe if you got more than one advice, we'll work with it.
No, you have to realize who your mannerism or your conduct or way you think and act come from. And I say that because a lot of black women or women will disagree. Your son takes along your mannerisms even if you teach him how to be a man. But in the end of the day, you can't. Because I always feel that you have a woman, whenever you get into a situation, in most cases, she leads from an emotional standpoint. Men tend to lead more from a logical standpoint. But then you have emotional men because they were raised by emotional women. Like, for instance, when you tell your son, boy, go in there and goddamn take that trash out, you only have to say it one time.
Yep.
The woman may have to say it 3 times. By the 3rd time, she's raised her voice and said, well, I tell you, take the goddamn garbage out. Now, flip side, that same young man learns to communicate to his woman like that. If she didn't hear him at the tone he says it, he's going to go up. I told you that. You get what I'm saying? So even though we do it subconsciously, we're still doing it. We're taking those traits that we learn from women, but we're still men at the core. So when I say that, a lot of the crimes that we have in our community, they're happening because of emotional standpoints, whereas 2 men might have been able to talk it out if we looked at it logically. But if we're both thinking of it emotionally, motherfuckers end up dead. So that would be my biggest thing for the youth of black men and men all together. Learn how to be an actual man. Learn how to lead with logic instead of emotion. And a lot of the problems we figure out in our culture just not diving off the damn board so fast. So that's one tidbit I learned.
But that tip that you just say, I noticed that with that one is like, I see some female, like they think that they can teach a boy or to be a man.
But the biggest thing is, like you said,
And we see it every day when we're about to pick.
I can say it to a boy and a female can say it. He's going to listen to his mother, but he's still getting it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Now, I will say men a lot of times don't understand emotion because we haven't been taught emotion. The black culture, if we are raised with men, we're taught not to cry. I'm not telling you not to cry, but I'm telling you not to be no bitch either, because a lot of times you hold shit in that you need to let go. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned it both ways, being told, nigga, quit all that motherfucking crying. And I still say that, but I do believe in a man being able to express himself. The biggest thing with black women and men now, the whole phrase sassy. Now, if a man has an opinion on something, somehow he's became sassy versus the nigga just having something to say.
Mm-hmm.
If you say anything to a woman that doesn't agree in certain cases, you consider sassy. How the you sassy because you got an opinion?
I just want to say thanks for watching. Please go ahead, like and subscribe. Okay? This is your host, Stain Camera for Cutting Up, with my assistant over there, Scott and D-Life.
Life of the rich.
Thanks for watching Cutting Up. See you next time.